Gregorio! Antonio.
New York City, 6 a.m. An out-of-control satellite radio show is being broadcasted to millions of Americans. At the controls, Greg Hughes, a father.
Oh, this is perfect. This is how it should be.
Anthony Cumia, an alcoholic.
Hey, hi.
And Jim Norton, a comedian.
It's me! I work here! Glad I got that one out.
Are we on live now? Is it happening? This is it?
The three men make up the Opie and Anthony Show, a popular radio program known for its cringe style of entertainment and having very few limits.
I like where this is going. I'm seeing a lot of options here.
This is like different than any other radio.
No telling what we're going to hear in here today. Tits, ass, tons of cuss words.
It's not like radio, it's like hanging out.
In the past, they have been accused of multiple FCC violations and have even gotten their show suspended from satellite radio.
This is why. This is American freedom of speech.
It's good on every level.
Insane.
Every second is funny, wildly funny, and philosophically spotless.
Everything you are about to hear is real. Real people, real excitement. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.
Hey, folks. Welcome to Kaiser's Castle. Grab yourself a coffee, tea, soda, and or adult libation. Grab yourself just a cup of squat on the big orange couch. And enjoy this show today. I think you guys all know, world famous, my brother Kimmy. And him and I are going to just have a chat. And we're just going to wax philosophical about whatever we want. And it's just a natural thing. Welcome to the show today again, Kimmy.
Hello, brother. Thank you very much for the nice introduction. Hello, everyone.
It's no problem, brother. It's just natural. We were talking off the air. I think it's a good topic to start out with. Thanksgiving and some of the origins in Europe, but it's different in America than it is. And you and I... So, just let me know, some of the stuff that maybe we didn't touch on and we didn't go too far in depth, because that was really fascinating to me, man.
Yeah, so, you just mentioned that we in Europe, we are not, you said like happy Thanksgiving, and I said like we don't have Thanksgiving. We we Christians have Thanksgiving in Europe, but it's a little bit earlier than you have it as a national holiday in the US. And yeah, you bring something you made yourself or something like that into church on Sunday. But yeah, in general, it's completely vanished from our society as such, because like all this, a lot of also Christian holidays that haven't been like altered or influenced by the Vatican, Roman Catholic Church. No offense to anyone who is Roman Catholic, you are my brothers as well. I mean, obviously, but these kind of evangelistic holidays, they vanished in Europe because you had this people that got chased and killed and so on. When the Reformation happened, and you had the Huguenots who got chased and killed, and these were one of the finest and nicest people here in Europe, and they all fled to the US and to Ireland and to wherever, to flee the persecution. And that's really sad, because all those good holidays and this lovely, this lovely thing of sharing and caring with each other, we actually should need more of these than less of this. And Europe is having instead of that, we have Halloween is having a comeback basically here. Actually originated from Samhain. Everyone knows that. That was I mean, not everyone knows that, but definitely a lot of people know that it came from originally from the Druids that were sacrificing children in Ireland, back 1,000 years ago and so on. They painted or they went on the evening of Samhain. They went to people or to doors of local people and demand that they bring them the kid, or one kid, so they get a blessing, or they either kill the whole family, or all kids or something like that. And you have like European pagans that some of them I know personally, and they are nice people, and they don't go along with these kind of practice. But that's the origin of it, and and Halloween obviously as a satanic holiday, it's a big time thing here in Europe as in the US, and all the Christian and all the faithful things and good things and fruitful things are not getting any attention or support here. So
Right.
that's about that.
Yeah, man. I totally get it, man. In America, Halloween's in October. And then what we have over here, brother, is Thanksgiving is just families getting together, or communities, churches will do it. It's a day of thanks for, it started out basically with the Pilgrims, and there was never a set date. There was actually a time where Halloween had two separate dates. Back during Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he figured he'd put the we brought up Halloween. He'd put Thanksgiving back a week for more time for Christmas shopping, trying to jumpstart the economy. And after that POS got thrown out of, died out of office, they started, people started going back to the old date, which was the 4th. It's actually like it's supposed to be the 24th was the beginning of it. And then under him, he put it back to the 20th or something. I can't remember. It was a week before. And for extra Christmas days at the shop, trying to jumpstart the economy. Well, so then you had, just as in now, everybody thinks this stuff is new. You had Republican Christmas, or Republican Thanksgiving. Goodness, I'm thinking about all the holidays now. You had Republican Thanksgiving and Democrat Thanksgiving. Democrat was still the week before, and then Republican was the Sunday before, the last Sunday in November. And so anyways, the funny part about it is finally Congress acted and said, yes, it will always be the 4th. So now the date doesn't so much matter, but it will be the 4th Sunday, or the 4th Thursday of November. Man, my mind is a jumble right now, brother. It's early in the morning for me, like 4:45. So, folks, this is wake up Kaiser time. So, Kimmy went through the brunt of it in the beginning. So, sorry about that, brother. But anywho, that sort of explains. But it is about getting together with your family and your friends, and giving thanks for all the and folks, even with all the little garbage going on, just don't worry about it. Just celebrate it. Like I said, stay local, be vocal, and always just and also talk to your friends who are overseas. And make sure to include them, and that you're thankful, just like I am thankful for Kimmy and everybody else who I know overseas, that God puts people in your life for a reason, and you both add flavor to life, and that's a beautiful thing when it's done right. And yeah, everybody heard the beginning was Opie and Anthony's intro. I just thought it'd be funny to put it on there and see if I get a strike. So if there's dead air when it first starts out for about a minute, it'll be because I was playing it just to see if YouTube's algorithms would strike me or something. But, you know, it is what it is. And yeah, man, Kimmy, I just really do appreciate all of our talks when we're able to. I mean, we're both busy, but it is nice to sit down, smoke a cigarette, crack open a soda, and just chew the fat with you for a while over just anything. You have any thoughts that you want to put out?
Yeah, definitely, I can agree on that. It's absolutely, let's say it's a blessing to have a conversation. I mean, like with like-minded people, or let's say I feel like every. I feel like the Americans, or especially the U.S. Americans, are our lost brothers here. You know, like honestly, for me, it's like it's not lost in that way. I mean, like you're distant relatives basically, and you kept you kept our ways of life better than us, and it's always so nice when I have. I got blessed that I got an understanding for that, you know, like because the portraying in Europe was very, when you grow up, it's very left wing. It's like you speak about Americans like they're all the gun nerds, and they're all like they like to kill each other, and it's basically the Wild West, and you don't go along with understanding the reasons why Americans had their lifestyle how it was, and that they kept conservative, or a lot of them mostly, and what were the benefits of it, you know. So I can tell you Europe didn't go along with the conservative values, and look where it brought us, you know. Like there is no more bound between families. There is no more basically open religion. I'm scared to walk around with a cross on my neck, you know. Not that I you know, like it's you have to be like a loud mouth to say like I'm going to die for my beliefs, you know, but you're not going to get a bullet like just from one idiot, you know, or something like that, you know, could happen to you anytime here, because because the government is also very high government is a satire, this very corrupt, you know, and you have this problem that you have a lot of foreign people that had came here and are into criminal activities, and they just run you over with no hesitance, and you can't do anything about it because it's very in Switzerland you can't really defend yourself, you know, and if you defend yourself, you're going to end up in front of court. That's how it is here, you know, because if you're really rich, you made it, you know. It doesn't matter, you know. Then you get like the best lawyers and so on, and then you have like hundreds of reasons, and someone gets money of you and you off the charts. But the regular citizen, and if you're honest, true man or woman or whatever you are, that makes you vulnerable. So you can't really invest into safety. You have to, let's say, you have to be low key, you know, like, or how do you say it in English? I don't. exactly know, but
You have to be a gray
don't.
man. You have to be the guy that just blends in. I know what you're talking about, brother.
Yeah, exactly. You have to blend in. You don't have to go really. If someone is provoking you or something like this, it's better than not engage. This all this, and I have nothing against everyone who comes here, foreigner or whoever you are. I'm not. Like I'm a libertarian. Like I believe that if you're going to come into a country and then you do your best and so on, then that's a good thing. Basically, you're benefiting everyone, but not in a way that you're going to undermine the culture and so on and destroying it from inside, like a communistic, um, you know. That's the difference. That's why they play with left and right so much,
And
like
they make that false dichotomy because they have
yeah,
to divide us.
exactly. It's just that you can't figure out anymore who's with you or not, because they make like the things you share, they separate out. They make it. Can I say they don't let you anymore? Like find common ground on these terms. Because like. When I grew up, it was very, kind of, libertarian to grow up here in Switzerland, because like the economy was good. Nobody had any problem with people coming here from any country. I grew up with like so many nations. In
Same
my
here,
school.
man.
I had basically I couldn't, like differentiate between, let's say, I only differentiated between men and women because I was always afraid from girls when I grew up, because I liked them that much, and that's my only difference I have,
It's the innocence of youth, brother. I feel you, but that so
yeah,
gets jaded. Yep.
yeah, but I never had this discussion, what is your religion? Nobody cared, like it's your personal thing,
Yeah.
and actually, I agree that like, to be honest, Switzerland was mostly Christian based, and officially it is still, and Christian religion is very, let's say, some people would definitely disagree with me, but it is based on a foundation of being social. Like social at the moment is a really bad word, but the true meaning of social is a good one. It means like to cooperate with someone. Yeah, it's community.
Yeah.
It's cooperating with some other one to achieve higher goals. Like you can't build a house alone. You have to get friends or family in to build your house, and then you say, hey, I'm going to help you to build your own house. So this is
like the Amish do here in America. That's one funny thing, man, is we do have a lot of European traits, the good traits at least, except for lately. But that was sparked a long time ago, and everybody who thinks that the proof is in the pudding. 15 days is now turning into 2 years to flatten the curve, except now it's to be fully vaxxed. This is so retarded of an argument. The vaccine.
Wait a second. It's
no.
We don't have still the first lockdown. Is it not the 2 weeks?
Yeah, when we had our lockdown, it was 15 days to flatten the curve.
Yeah, to flatten the curve. Where's the sentence? Where's the sentence?
So that the hospitals wouldn't be overwhelmed with patients. So that's why they locked everybody down. And then they found it to be an efficient tool. I believe it was by design to divide Americans, and get people paranoid. And so anyways, that was the creeping of when you say socialism now, it's not socialism that we're experiencing. It's outright communism. And but this started out back, you can go back to McCarthy when they were uncovering all the stuff. And of course now McCarthy should be looked at as somebody who saw the future, because he was talking about the grand conspiracy back then. And I mean, this is an out in the public conspiracy that's been enacted, and Zbigniew Brzezinski has talked about it. Everybody's talked about it in books. Shit, even I can't remember the guy's name, but it's a book I have, and I'm not going to go over and look on the shelf, but it's about the administrative state. I think the guy's name was Duffy or something like that. Could be wrong. Check it for yourself. But it's basically talking about bureaucracy and how to build it and how experts will run everything. And what do they keep saying? I'm an expert, Well, if you know me, and you do know me for quite a while, whenever I hear somebody say they're an expert, I run from them, and I'll tell you why. Even the government, when they used to call me a SME, a subject matter expert, I hated that, because I'd be like, I'm not expert in shit. And what I mean by that is everybody who's an expert that has ever called themselves that and believe that and take that into their minds, guess what happens to them? They fail. They die. You only gain experience. That's it. And it's time tested. It has to be proven. And even then you can make a mistake. And a mistake's okay to make, but you have to take a proper decision not to do that again. And all you do is compound it, and it becomes a failure, a catastrophic failure, like a survival expert, quote unquote. What you'll have is all of a sudden that survivalist goes out in the woods. It was a beautiful spring day, didn't think anything, and a big November wind comes in or something like that, an Arctic blast, and he ends up freezing to death. That actually happened. Somebody who's a gun expert shoots somebody accidentally while cleaning his gun. Okay, how expert was he? Somebody who is an expert gunfighter, tier 1 guy, and all of a sudden he goes out and shoots himself, has a misfire. Okay, that's okay. But then to compound it, I saw it happen one time. A guy blasted into a clearing barrel and took out the magazine. He was shook up because he did it. It was outside of a DFAC. And pulls the trigger again without clearing it. He just dropped the mag. It was hilarious. He thought he had an empty chamber, fires in. A lot of people would do that sometimes in different places. This is back in the heyday in Iraq. And then all of a sudden, he pulls out the mag, and instead of going back to the charging handle and racking it back, he just fires it in again, and it was hilarious. We all just started laughing, and he's like, yeah, I know, man, I'm a dick. But that kind of thing. So, it's all about being humble about who and what you are and what you believe. And honestly, it's all about decisions that you take. And take the appropriate decision for yourself. I don't worry about what others think of me. And I could care less. It's an old Italian phrase. If I go, mi ne frego, that means I don't care. If I say, mi ne frego, well, you know what that means? I don't give a fuck. And that's basically what I don't give about most people's opinions about me. Anyways, I bet you can expand on that, brother, because, I've been flipping my jibs a little too long, and probably everybody's bored of hearing me, and you are too.
No, I'm not bored hearing you. I just don't know where I should I continue on your
Wherever you want.
things you said. Oh, I say, yeah. I think the whole topic with experts is this kind of believing that someone else can always decide better than you do, and actually, yeah, I agree. There is some part of you have to trust someone that is actually is expert in something. When you bring your car, to the engineer, to the mechanic. Actually, he knows what he's doing. This is why you go there, and he has the tools, and he has the place and so on, and he has the profession and the knowledge and skills to do so, right? But that was always my topic. It's not about if you go into a school or in a university or wherever you are, and you get your knowledge. It's not. It doesn't come. Like you get some sort of skills there, definitely, but like you get skills from doing things, practicing. And if you do something with passion and love, and understanding that you learned out, then you will grow in your skills, right? So there are people that haven't even seen the university, or there are that are doctors, basically, that are they know what medicines and so on they can prescribe or give you, or like they have the compendium, and they have the knowledge. It's just the illusion of the state that puts a label on someone or on a profession. Basically, it's the certification, the green pass for showing the society what you're capable of. Maybe you are then not as good as it says. This is why you can't put your full trust, or your full can I say it full trust into men or into someone. You should always be mindful and look at the person, or whatever it is, whatever you do, or what your business is, and then take a look how he will handle things, right?
Oh yeah,
And
definitely. And
yeah,
as like my doctor said, and it's hilarious. In 2018, I came back. My doctor kept saying it's a lung infection, treating me for COPD, all kinds of things. You remember this era. Some of the people, that would have been 2018, some of the people listening to the podcast might have heard this. And, I was having some serious lung issues. And yes, I'm a smoker, so, it could have been brought on by me, whatevs. But here's the point. I got it from in Afghanistan, and they had given me 2 things to take proactively, and I still have one of the bottles, and that's for doxycycline. And it says right on it, it was issued by Fort Bliss, Texas, to me. They gave me like 600 pills in this big ass jar. And anyways, they also gave me hydroxychloroquine, which was because of, you got mosquitoes over there, you can get, certain diseases like malaria from it. And I never take either of that kind of crap, and it was all for preventative meds. And anyway, so what ended up happening is come that 15 days to slow down the spread, or to 15 days to I just said it earlier, damn it, to
Flatten the curve.
Flatten the curve.
Mm.
I heard about that, and all of a sudden it was funny. I got back from the place that I was at, and I was telling you earlier, and I don't think I ever told this story on my podcast, but I'll do it now. My phone was dead when I left Atlanta. I was flying. I ended up in Brazil. I'm not going to say where I was headed because that op still might go on. And so anyways, made it to Brazil, dead phone, pulled it out. I have different things that I put electronics in, so, you know, I happen to know certain things, even if they're dead, you know, and even if it's live, when I put it in that thing, the GPS, there's no radio emissions coming out. There's no way, you know, any signals coming in or going out to it. So anyways, I take it out one time to see. I didn't have a charger or anything, but I just wanted to double check it's dead. When I was in Brazil, because I was trying to send an email to my wife to let her know I'm coming back home, because that country shut down their border on that date. And anyways, it's dead, and I don't have a charger with me, so shove it back in the pouch. That's its exposure. And that was maybe as long as I took it out and put it back in. And so that movement, and tried to fiddle with the power button. So that's about the amount of time it was out of that sheath. Put it back in, sealed it, carry on, and then a buddy, not a buddy, but a guy who I met, and he was a good dude, let me send an email to her. So, boom, she knew I was coming home. And anyways, what ended up happening is I get in the car at the airport, plug it into the wife's, you know, power jack. It gets some juice. I hit the button, and I'm like, okay, I'm juiced up. And all of a sudden I get a message. And my wife looks at me, who's sending you a text? I said, I don't know. Pull it up for her to see. It was the CDC saying I'd been to a country that's known to have an infection. I have to, quarantine for 14 days. Do you think I did that? Nah. And so I go to I had to put stuff up in my Connex box. And one of the boxes I needed to move, I just said, I don't even know what the hell's in here. It was sent back from Afghanistan, you know, 2018, and there's those pills. And I heard somebody talk about those 2 pills. And I took them. And all of a sudden, I was starting to get some relief from that, you know, that lung infection that nobody knew. And my doctor at that time, Dr. Richardson, I go into him. I said, I discovered what cured it. He goes, I need you to go get a test. And I did. I got one of the initial tests. And guess what? I came up with the antibodies for that from 2018. So when people start telling me, this probably will not go on YouTube. I'm going to tell you the truth. It'll be on BitChute. I'll put it up, but I don't expect this podcast to stay up.
Yeah. I guess so. But you can try, man. You can try. Yeah. You can try. I give you my shot after you finish. But this will be amazing.
But anyways, he goes, you got the antibodies. He said, and yet your lung capacity, everything's back. And I said, yeah. And he goes, he started questioning things, and he goes, let me tell you something. And this goes back to experts. This is why I loved when you said it. He goes, do you know why they call doctors and lawyers, they have a practice? They're practicing lawyers or practicing doctors? I said, no. He goes, because it's a practice. We will make mistakes. And just like my mechanic, I have a bugaboo with my car, and I still have it, except now it's no longer draining my battery. And it took my mechanic, who is a great mechanic. I've never had an issue. He fixes everything. But there's a certain thing that was happening. What ended up being the radio was drawing my battery dead. I was having to charge it every night. And if I wasn't running it, you know, because the alternator actually runs the car once the battery starts it. And but it would drain the battery if I didn't run. And so overnight, I'd have a dead car, so I just started keeping the charger on. And then all of a sudden, my radio really wasn't working, so I took it into the radio guy. Radio guy fixed it. Guess what? Battery hasn't failed. This is the longest I've had it running, and that's been a couple months now. The last time I replaced my battery, it was 2 weeks, and I had to start charging it. And that was about 2 years ago. So it's been about 2 years that we've been chasing this bug. The only thing we haven't figured out yet is why my back, all the way in the trunk, my back socket works. It's hot. So I have this big 10-foot cable that I string from the back of my vehicle up to me. But the one in the back seat and the one in my dashboard aren't working. They're dead. And they used to work. So something's happened with that. And I just look at it as he's a practicing mechanic. One day we'll figure out what happened, but we might never. And even as a cop, when I was copping or working with my other agency, I know there were times that I missed something. I know there were times that I didn't see or foresee something, an event that probably happened because I precipitated it. So, you know, you never know what your action today will cause in the future. And it can be an outright accident, or it could be, you know, that's why you have mismal and nonfeasance as legal terms. Misfeasance, well, you know, you did something, but it was actually a little wrong. So, you know, if you're a cop or anything else, you know, working for the government, you can be prosecuted for misfeasance. But it was an accident, but it still caused an issue. Malfeasance, you did it on purpose. You willingly and wantonly did it. Nonfeasance is you didn't do anything and shit went sideways, and it's your fault for not intervening. So, and these are all chargeable crimes in the U.S. Like, everybody should read the book 3 Felonies a Day, because every American commits at least 3 felonies a day. And you can't help it because of regulations, and regulations de facto are laws. So anything that can be enforced, and including regulations, every federal agency has IGs, Inspector Generals. They're all gun carriers. They go to FLETC, Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Glencoe, Georgia, or Artesia, New Mexico. And they're gun carriers. They legitimately can enforce that regulation by firearms. And anytime anybody can enforce something by the use of a gun, it de facto becomes law. And that's where Europe and America has one common thing in common. Regulations, the administrative state, bureaucracy. That's the real problem. When they talk about the deep state, it's the people at the head of the bureaucracies. That's what I think, Kimmy. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, man, on that one.
Yeah, it's if you, I mean, like, obviously a lot of people that listen to you and are generally in these topics understand clearly what's going on, and yeah, these people call it the priest class, basically. You know, it's the the people who can say what's going on or where it goes, So yeah, and what is right and what is wrong. This, like there's a lot of people that still have authority, but if you behave like you have more authority than they have, mostly they will listen to you, because you're acting or you're feeling and you're acting like you're right, and that is impressive to a lot of people, and these people are misusing that, or misusing their titles as an excuse of them having a lesser judgment or a worse judgment than you, or prescribing you something wrong, or give you something wrong, or flat out lie to you, or misguide you, and that can happen in every job, everything, and everywhere, and this what we had, back in the day, that we could trust at our supervisor and so on, that they are having rules on their own, that they have to get along because they get controlled by the people, right? So basically, we have, the basic model of the West was actually to have the people as at the top, right, and the government and regulation at the bottom. That's how, like like the economy and so on. It should definitely serve the people, and not serving the government. The government is only there to regulate as much as it should, and not more. And if an overregulation turns then into communism, basically, because like everything. The state is like take your your judgment away, and telling you when you have to do what, right? So when you have to, basically, like you said, you're going to break at least 3 rules a day, and you don't even know it, and the problem with that is if we look at this from an objective standpoint, you're not doing anything wrong, basically, of course you do something wrong sometimes, and but on a can I say it, not on the basis that the state is saying, on principles, maybe it's not good to cheat at someone, or steal from someone, this is prohibited, even let's say in the Bible or somewhere, and you shouldn't do that. But the point is you overregulation turns into that you are paralyzed, that you can't do anything without asking a higher person who gives you these kind of rights to access to something, it's using less your brain less than it actually should be used,
Yeah, it causes the death of common sense. It's super easy.
Yeah.
I explain communism like this. Picture, and everybody hates condominiums because you have to belong to the condominium association. Well, every condominium association everybody hates, right? Because they'll pass arbitrary rules on bullshit. Well, imagine a condominium association that also has guns, so they can enforce their rules by guns. That's communism. Super easy to understand. And then the other thing that you brought up, a priest class. We can put that and there's an easy way to point it out. Who else can enforce their will if they want to by the power of a gun? From your nation state, they provide the only legal mercenaries on the planet, the Swiss Guard to the Vatican embassies and the Vatican. Anything that the Catholic Church holds, the Swiss Guard have preeminent control over. And they can, by proxy, by using the Swiss Guard, they can enforce their will if they so choose to do so. And that's not me slamming the Catholic Church. That's me just having a basic understanding, because here's the biggest problem of all. Like running for government. When you have somebody who wants the power, that's the guy you don't want to have the power. And if they want the power or they achieve the power, but they don't want the responsibility, that person needs to be stripped of his power. What we have allowed to happen are power-hungry motherfuckers allowed to grab the power and not take any responsibility, and nobody does fuck all about it. That's the problem, and men just stopped being men at a certain time. And I know exactly when that was, and I was a part of it. I'm a Gen Xer, and the baby boomers infected us, except I realized the error of my ways, and I taught my son, luckily, because of my mom's boyfriend. He was an abusive fuck. But what I will tell you he did to me was enforced a will to understand things and to listen and learn and see reality and accept responsibility for my bullshit. And I've never tried to control anybody, even as a cop, unless I needed to take control because it's a bad scene, or as a contractor, or in any other official things that I needed to take action on. But that's because that person put themselves in that, not me. They brought me to them. And there's a big difference. I always tried to maintain a nice face, always, and level-headed, and I always want to talk first. Violence, when I start seeing it come up, the key to winning, but you better also take responsibility for everything that you do and realize, live your life like you're on camera, because you are. And let me tell you, don't be ashamed of anything, but realize it. I don't want to control anybody. Never have. Not even in my family. Not even my friends. Or even when I was dating a girl. Controlling a bitch, I don't want to do that. You know, that's not my thing. It's not my thing. You know, I enjoy being with the person or whatever. But to control them and try to say, you have to believe the way I believe, you have to think the way I think, you want to do what I want to do. No, that's retarded. I won't be happy. They won't be happy. And it's not a win-win. A win-win is when both people are like, let's have fun. Let's do this. Let's do that. You know, or hey, this is serious. Let's deal with this. Okay, let's deal with it now and figure it out. And that's the end of that rant. Sorry about it. I ranted on that.
No, brother. It's good. The thing you wanted to say, it's also its weakness. That's what I want to throw in. You know, it's like the you know, like I go to walk with our dog a lot of times, and I'm less strict, strict than my wife with the dog. My wife wants always like full control and blah and this, and the dog has to do this and the dog has to do that, and when the dog do this, and you know, like she constantly barks at him, you know, like, and the dog is like, of course it's she really like likes to have full control over the dog, that he knows what goes on and what not. But I do say can I say it? I love that I can be with people and stay with people, or with my dog or somewhere, you know, that doesn't matter, that he has his free will of his own, that he can judge if he wants to harm you or not. You know, with a dog, it's okay, it's a different thing with a dog, definitely. but our dog basically is very good, educated, and is a very friendly dog. And I walk, and always when I walk with him, I let him off the leash, so he can be a dog and run around and sniff somewhere and so on. And I also engaged with some people this year, that he wanted to play with their other dogs, right? And they kicked him. Why do I telling this story right now? I'm just saying that people don't like to be with. Sometimes they can't deal that you're choosing more freedom than others, or do that you live like you live with certain freedom that others don't have, like they want to enforce that you feel shit like they do, So I don't enjoy if anyone is when I suffer, I don't want anyone else to suffer from the same thing. Why should I? Do I benefit from that? No, I don't. And this is why you always it's always a great thing when you have a necessary thing if you have freedom as such, so the freedom to choose who you want to sit with and who you want to be, and have a relaxed atmosphere, and feel also protected, because you respect each other and you have certain rights. And it sounds very naive and stupid when I speak about this, but all these things we grew up, they are basically off the window, and they are portrayed as a bad thing. And
I agree with you.
Life is not enjoyable like that, I want to, basically you should be aware of your situation, but you shouldn't live in fear, neither from the government, nor from a virus, nor from anything, that fucks you up, that destroys you, and you have to really, the worst thing you can do to the devil basically is to enjoy life.
I look at it like this. Life is what's going to go on. There's no way to stop it from going on. So you just flow with it. It be water, my friend. What form does water take when it comes out of the spigot? To the cup. So realize life is going to take the shape you make it, or allow it to make it on you. So that's my only advice to that. And of course, it's worth exactly what you paid for. Absolutely nothing, because I make sure on my page I don't Patreon, I don't do none of that garbage. This is just me. I started this channel, in all honesty, Kimmy, none of you guys know this. I don't think I ever told you. I started it in lieu of writing my book, to just leave something out there that my son can revisit, and maybe my grandchildren when I'm dead. That's it. I didn't want to monetize it, nothing, because this is my intimate personal feelings on everything. And I don't care, because, like I said, me ni frego. I don't give a fuck. I'll put my voice out there and I'll tell you my opinions. But guess what? Everybody's got an opinion. Mine's no better than yours. You're the best expert on your opinion. Nobody else. Don't let them shape yours. And I don't know what your thoughts are on that one, brother.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what's tomorrow. I don't know what's in the next. We can just speculate. Everyone is just speculating what's tomorrow, what is to come, or so on. Nobody really knows. Not even the ones that absolutely have the narrative, on it.
Well, no,
That's
they know
that's
they know their narrative that they want to push, but that's the problem.
the way they know their narrative, but they don't even know if their narrative is going to succeed in any way.
Oh no, they'll push
Even
it. They'll push it with propaganda. That's the point. They know their narrative, but the narrative's never the full story. So that's my point. I mean, shit, man. For several years, I was paid and worked for the government to push narrative in a real way. That's why everything I see, it's not a jaundiced eye I look at it with, it's a knowing eye. Because I understand narrative building, I understand propaganda more than a lot of people. And sadly. And I mean that. Because there's certain things, I don't regret anything. I'm not ashamed of anything. But I wish I might have woken up a little sooner to correct my errors. Because an error uncorrected and not respected as that error, and mistake that it is, and you not being able to do anything about it, that will burn a hole in your soul. And I mean that in a real way. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from on that one, brother, but I mean it.
Yeah, well, I always did like mistakes, and I always try to correct them. Like sometimes you can't, but then you try to give it a go on another place. Like maybe someone you wanted to be nice is dead, and you can't do that anymore. Then you pay it forward to someone else. Like. You should always like strive for, like it's an empty shell today to say that you are a nice and a nice person and positive and so on and all that bullshit, that people are proclaiming to be, like you don't even have to speak about it, just do it, like it's that's that should be that will fulfill you also, that gives you joy, and that gives you more lightness in to walk around on this journey and on this planet, and you feel better, way better, it's trust me, it's like that's it's really working. And sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to look to yourself and to your situation, and you have problems of your own, and you can't correct the errors, and what you said and what you've done. But you can always try when you be in a better position again, and we all need each other.
Try not to make the same mistake twice. And Christ forgives completely. I believe in this. This is biblical. And people, if you don't like the Bible, sorry. I do believe in my ancestors, so on that level, I'm a pagan. But I'm also a Christ cuck. I do believe that Christ is the person who is the visage of actual God, the Holy Trinity, Holy Ghost, Christ, and the actual omniscient God. But with that being said, he forgives, and I know that with all the sin I've done, and I've done plenty of it, think I'm holier than now, bullshit, and I know what I've done, but it's about atonement. Like I said, if you do things and make mistakes and you can't correct them, and I'm glad that you brought that up, Kimmy, is at least you can make steps not to commit that error and mistake again. Apologize to that person, and I feel I've always been able to do that, at least to affected people, and I pray that they accept it with the open heart it's given. But I'm a human being. I make mistakes, and I have my failings. We all do. But brother, one of the coolest things is you can be forgiven, but you'll never forget. especially on a mistake, and especially if it's on a interpersonal level, whatever. And, you know, it doesn't change that you may love that person, this, that, and the other, but the error, the greatest error, is to forget. And that's why I think sometimes I get so angry, because I fill my mind, man, I'm in my 50s. I feel my mind slipping where it used to be photographic. I'd remember names of books and authors and all that shit. I can't do that now. My mind is just not with it. And to watch that leading our nation, I understand what dude's going through, but man, that I would love to despise him. I mean this. I would love to. But I look at it as, this is elder abuse. There is everybody who allowed this to happen, they're abusing that old man. And he's not with it. That'd be like me wanting to run for president. Knowing that I have, my memory's not as good anymore. You think I would want to do that? You think I'd want to lead anything now? No, I'm done with it. I'm done with it because my memory's not there, man. And if you can't flash back quickly, you know, people have heard me on the show stutter and stammer, and my eyeballs, my wife will see it, my eyeballs roll back in my head trying to remember something, and it's just annoying. And but that's the state of my memory. And you know, I put a lot of miles and abuse on this body, and of course you'll always pay for it. If you're young and listening to this, please listen. Everything you do now, you'll pay for later. And I don't know your thoughts on that, brother.
Well, yes and no. You can always like, even you can always like gain more strength back, and work on your body and on your mind and so on. It's just generally you are right, but there is always the possibility, and you always should strive for building instead of surrendering, to anything.
I'm not surrendering. I just
I didn't say that, but I'm just pointing that out. That try to gain strength in any way, in any shape, in any form. That means in your ability to remember things, or your body and so on. And I basically I also have to restart a lot. I restart like all 2 or 3 years. I have to get again into physical shape, into my mind shape, and it tends to a lot of things. Even if you know how to keep some of it, it slips because of stress, because of situation in family, and with all the crap that it goes on outside. It's not that easy anymore to keep focused on your goals in life and on your plans. It's but you have to forgive yourself and always start from new, and say, okay, this is a new phase, and I'm going to it's like you say, if you fall down, you have to get up and then start again, clean the dust off your clothes, and then
I agree.
Then pick your mood up and get there and do something that is motivating you and it makes life enjoyable. So that's what it is.
Well, that's why I always love talking with you. It's always enjoyable talking with you. We laugh and joke so much, and it's just so good every time we get together and talk. I mean, everybody I talk with is like that. They all add something to the conversation. But I really enjoy talking with you all the time, brother. I mean, every time we talk, we delve deeper into, and this actually has been an awesome, this is probably our best show we've ever done because of how frank we've both been and really gotten into the weeds on some things that I think should have been aired publicly. These are the kind of conversations you and I used to talk about. Why are we doing a show where we're trying to send the message to one person and then saying, like over, or whatever? This is a natural conversation where these are the things people get to hear, and my son will get to hear on how interpersonal relationships should be. Talking frankly and honestly with the man to man, It's never been,
Right.
my show's never been meant for women, honestly. And if I've got any listeners out there, it's not an affront to you. I've been married 27 years, and I'm still as clueless as the day I got married or when I was dating women. I'm not packing ovaries, don't have fallopian tubes, I don't have a womb, I don't have a vagina, I don't know your issues once a month, don't care to know them, I have to deal with the ramifications of them, but that's it, and that would be like my wife trying to say she knows what it's like to have a penis and balls. She doesn't. So, but that's a reality. I think the only persons, and I mean this not disparagingly, but probably people who try to transition from one to the other, they may know some of it, but they're not going to have the full-on emotional and all the other stuff. They're not getting the full dose of estrogen from the womb. They're not getting the full dose of testosterone from the womb. So they'll never really know the reality of the other sex. And that's the sad part, too, is those people that do that, I don't think they'll ever really know what they are seeking or whatever, So maybe I'm wrong. As a matter of fact, this won't go on YouTube because they will pull this down for so many hits. But it all started with me wanting to sample a little bit of Opie and Anthony's intro, and I just became emboldened by it, and now I will not be able to put this on YouTube, so it won't be out there to the general public. Sorry about that. After the show, me and you are going to do a quick hit, and just for YouTube, where we'll say, we just did a killer show, and we'll let everybody know, head to BitChute. And I'll also provide this to, and I will provide Kimmy's Telegram, because he authorized me to do that, his Telegram group. And folks, you can go listen to it on Kimmy's Telegram, and there'll be a link in the description. So, do you have any closing thoughts on this portion of it?
Well, there's a lot of things on my mind still. I mean, there's not enough time for that right now. But
run
for
with
the
it if
future,
you got it. You
no,
guys.
no, I want to. Like it's not. There's a lot of talks about the whole situation about COVID and so on. Like everyone else is talking about 24/7. This is also taking a lot of energy away from us. But one day I have to add something on that behalf as well. Like on something that happened to my life before all this, and about me getting sick in 2017 and 18 and being hospitalized for a long time. And yeah, I want to get people to know what happened to me then, and what happened in the hospital then to me, and just to reflect on things that are happening right now, and yeah, strange how things are yeah, becoming, like, or where before everything was like it is right now, and yeah, I thank everyone who listened to my bad English and my stuttering and my e's and ahs and I don't know what. And I love to hear from you. And yeah, contact me. You can see my Telegram group. You can always write me personally. You can yeah, be a part of our transatlantic group community group, basically, and yeah, talk with each other and try to help each other out, and exchange ideas and thoughts and motivations, and yeah, God bless you all, and thank you very much, brother Kaiser, and yeah, let's talk another time.
Always, brother, and we'll always see each other on those long walks through the boiler room, brother. And those are awesome times and awesome people, and you're one of those people that I think both Jay Dyer, Hesher, and Spore, and without all of them, we never would have met, which is a blessing. And like I said, God puts people in your life for a certain reason, and He definitely put you in my life for a reason. And you do keep me grounded a lot. I have to give you flowers on that, because it's just such a lovely time every time we talk. So stick around for a minute after I close out the show, and we'll do a little thing that I'll put on YouTube, all right? With that being said, thank you guys for stopping by Kaiser's Castle. Grab your coffee, tea, soda, and or adult libation, and I'll slowly raise the drawbridge as you meander on out of Kaiser's Castle. That being said, shove out.